Well, if you want a great place to stay when you come to a Woo Sox game, check out the AC Hotel. It has everything you need. 2-0 Toledo. And the Woo Sox go to the bullpen for a Shaw's pitching change. Zach Kelly comes on for Worcester. Trying to bounce back after a rough outing on Sunday against the Mets.
Well, Winkowski's going to be happy with his outing. Did a great job, had good tempo, commanded the strike zone. The pitch he's working on, the four seam to elevate, he threw really, really well. That's a good feel-good outing for him.
So Zach Kelly gets 2, 3, and 4 as Hao-Yu Lee takes ball 1. And Winkowski, 5 innings, 2 runs on 4 hits, coming on 2 homers, 1 by this guy. His second of the year. Came into play today, 2 for his last 26. Keep in mind, Toledo's won 7 in a row.
Yeah, they're on fire.
Really on the back of some excellent pitching, but they've gotten timely hitting. One last night, 4-2. They're up 2-0 as we move on to the later innings here at Polar Park. And now Hao-Yu Lee is ahead in the count, 3-0.
Let's see if he gets the green light.
Kelly, as we mentioned, struggled in his last outing. A start against Syracuse in game 2 of the doubleheader on Sunday. Now 3-1. Kelly in that game allowed 8 runs on just 4 hits in a third of an inning. That was a 12-run first for Syracuse.
Wow.
It was a good fastball.
He got himself back in the count. 12 runs. How many times did they bat around?
Memory serves correct.
At least once, right?
It was 16 hitters to the plate.
Wow.
3-2. Lee, Margot, and Madris in and out of the mitt of Grandal.
Yeah, just 3-2. You want to see him challenge, and he did.
Zach Kelly, of course, began the season with the Red Sox. 7 appearances, 1-1 with an ERA of 9. Wanted him to kind of pare down his arsenal coming down here to Worcester. Stay in attack mode. He's got a good fastball. Three-2 to Lee is ball 4.
Just missed on the 8.5. You know, when you come down from the big leagues and you're a reliever, I think the most important thing is that you pound the strike zone, because the last thing you can have as relievers is just creating traffic on the bases, and it gets magnified at the major league level.
Kelly in the big leagues walked just 2 in 10 innings. There's a drive to right center field off the bat of Margot. It's slicing back over toward Eaton. He makes a great play in the alley.
Well, that's where speed shows up. He gets a great jump in this ball, and the ball is hit really well, but it's coming back. That's a ball you read as an outfielder, and his instincts take over, and he just runs the ball down. And Anthony's not too far off from this ball either. This ball's hit well.
I thought extra bases off the bat.
No, he got a great jump. Puts his head right down. I mean, there's pretty good speed out there in the outfield.
The fact, to your point, JP, that he can play all 3 outfield positions, as Madris bounces it foul, it just adds to his, his overall profile as a potential major league asset.
You know, if you're scouting at AAA and you're watching AAA games and you're always looking for that guy who's left unprotected, or any way you can acquire a player, that guy jumps right out at you. I was talking to a couple of scouts here today, and they've noticed him. So one guy said, I've never even seen this kid play before, but I really, really like what I see. So, other people are taking notice, and, unfortunately, he's in an organization with a lot of talent in the outfield.
Lee is 3 for 3 on stolen bases this year.
Slowed his arm down a little bit there on his changeup. Yeah, there he is. Physical kid, not a tall kid, but a physical kid.
Uniform looks like a baseball player.
Yeah, you know, to me, size. If you're good enough, you're big enough. He's leaning. There he goes.
Out to center.
Oh, so good deke.
Anthony will not make the throw back to first.
I'm not sure he double touched.
Question is, did he round second? He slid it. As you mentioned, the deke by Sogard was outstanding.
Really good deke, but he slid by the bag. Be nice to see a replay on this if we can.
That's a great shot by our crew.
Yeah, so he touches. Nope, didn't have to. So what we're talking about is most people know once you round the bag, you have to come back and touch the bag if you're going back in the direction you came, but he obviously did.
Here's Jemai Jones. Kelly would really benefit from a clean inning. Jones is 0 for 2.
They've been aggressive early for the most part, this lineup tonight.
Toledo scored both their runs on solo homers back-to-back in the third. Hicklin and Lee, who's at first base now. Ricciardi, 5 innings of 2-run ball for the Woo Sox. Walked 1, struck out 1. 68 pitches.
There he goes.
Runner goes. Grandal's throw to second is
Nice
on
throw.
the money and not quite in time.
You can tell Grandal's got a lot of big league time. He looked right to the dugout. He wanted to get the challenge. That was a heck of a play by Grandal. Ball in the dirt. His momentum was taking him that way. He got his legs right underneath him very well. Really nice throw.
Can't do it any better.
No. He was safe. And that's, I'm not a big fan of the drop knee, but in that case, it really worked well for him because all he had to do at that point is just push off and come through, almost like an infielder backhanded the ball. So in that case, I see where that works.
What is the argument, the pro drop knee argument?
I think most guys, and you see it right here, so he's down on the one knee, and he can just push off, which he does right there. My problem with it is, I think guys, because they're trying to steal so many pitches, the ball rides up their arm a lot more because they're out there reaching. There's a strike, check that, yeah. I think there's so many times if you're in a solid 2-knee setup, it's easy to just come down and drop. So we'll see it right there. He's down on one knee. I mean, that's just a backhand. That's an infielder backhand to the ball right there.
So the reason so many guys do it is
for
strikes. Receiving, right, at the bottom
trying
of the
to steal strikes. So I've seen too many guys in critical position spots with guys on third base that can't block the ball, and it rides up their arm, or they just can't push off, and it ends up costing them an extra base.
That one scoots away from him, and Lee's going to go to third base. Well, does it affect your blocking in your view?
100%. You cannot convince me that it does not affect your blocking. It'd be nice to see this. So here he is. He's widened out, and he really, if you're that wide, you can't get your chest over the ball because, I wish you could see it again. Maybe the guys in the booth can show it to us again. But if you watch him, his base is so wide, he can't. All he can do is drop down, but there's no force to drop down. If you're on your leg, so watch him. He widens out, and he's got nothing. There's no upper body to go down. He's almost already in that position. If you're on 2 knees and you set up, you could drop down and cup the ball a lot better. And what I mean by cupping the ball is you get your chest over the ball and you deaden the ball.
Well, he tried to bring that one back to the zone, but it misses outside, and Jemai Jones works a walk. So now runners at the corners. Well, you see it all over the place.
It's everywhere, and you know, I think there's places where it's value. I think with nobody on base, I got no problem with a catcher trying to steal. I got no problem with a catcher taking a little pressure off his legs. I just struggle with it with guys in scoring position.
So here's Akil Baddoo, who's 1 for 2. Runner from first is going. Jones has good speed, and Grandal won't even make the throw. It's a stolen base. It's called strike as Kelly jumps ahead.
So you got to wonder in the pregame meeting for the Mudheads, do they know something about the pitchers? Do they feel that these guys are just slow to the plate, or do they feel they can run on Grandal? Because everybody's taken off tonight. That's a good fastball.
Late on 92. That is the 4th steal tonight for Toledo. Baddoo had some big moments in Detroit. Homer in his first at bat off Aaron Savali.
I remember seeing his parents in the stands. That was so cool. There's a nice play by Grandal.
Didn't make the club out of spring training, Baddoo. Detroit's done a great job, JP, it seems, with finding some guys later in the draft that have turned into valuable major league players.
Well, the big thing they got going for them is they got great pitching.
Yeah.
You know, if you got good pitching, and I think that division's a division that offense, you can carry your offense with good pitching.
Cleveland's done it for years.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, there's some other divisions you got to have both. You got to have offense and you got to have solid pitching. But I think in the American League Central, if you could dominate with the pitching, you can win a lot of games.
2-2 to Baddoo. Ryan Kreidler, a right-handed hitter's on deck. Big point in this game, it feels like. Baddoo pops this one up, shallow left. Sogard over the shoulder makes the catch. Not an easy play with Rozier coming in from left field, but Nick Sogard's done that a time or two. Moo Sox will try and get the bats going in the bottom of the 6th.